Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello guys, let me introduce myself first. So my name is Nabila Maura and I'm from class 4B. In this video, I'm gonna tell you a story of a novel that I've read before, and the title is The Egg-Stalk by Lynn. So without further ado, let's move on to the story of this novel. So, this story follows with a girl named Say Goldenstein. She has been working for almost 10 years at the public radio station in Seattle. Since she was graduated from her college. She always wanted to work in public radio station because she loves to connecting with people and telling their stories through the radio. She also loves the public radio because it was very near and dear to say hers. But unfortunately, her dad has passed away when she was in senior year of her high school. An internship at her local public radio station, that is Pacific Public Radio, helped pull Shay out of her grief and find a purpose what the job she wants to work. 10 years later, Shay is producing her own show. Content with her work, it's called Paget Song. Until Dominican gets selected in her public radio station. So Dominic is a newly graduated from his master's degree in journalism. Shay didn't like Dominic since he was work at the radio. Dominic is typically the person who act like he knows everything about the public radio. He's also the one who's mostly favored by their boss, that is Ken, and it also makes Shay even more annoyed about Dominic. So the story begins with the public radio station is struggling to bring a show that can get many listeners because a lot of their content show is kind of old stuff. They're having a hard time to keeping their listener, so they need to come up with something fresh and exciting for the viewers. One day during a staff meeting, Dominic and Shay both Kent announced that they are looking for the new content idea for an upcoming radio show. At the meeting, Shay suggests a relationship show in which the co-hosts, who are ex-lovers, figure out what is went wrong in their relationship on the live radio show. At first, she didn't accept that this idea would be liked by her boss. So, at first, they're confused who will be the best ex-lovers to co-host this show. Suddenly, Ken, that is their boss, decide that Shay and Dominic will be the best co-hosts for the show because Ken can see both of them seems like did have a good relationship. For that reason, he wants Shay and Dominic to host this radio show. Despite that, the two of them have never dated, so they decide to pretend like they have ever dating. At first, they both don't want to do that, and Shay thinks she will be lying to their listener. But Shay want to keep their job because her boss said to her that her Paget song didn't get so much listener. If Shay didn't do this job, she will lose their job at the public radio. About Dominic, he's also at first didn't want to do this job because he want to be a reporter at the public radio and didn't want to do some fake show. But Shay kept persuade him to take this job, and then Dominic want to do this job. The radio show begins and called The Egg-Stalk. Certainly, they would do a great job and get wonderful feedback from the viewers and their boss. They get a good response and also many listeners to their show. And suddenly, both Shay and Dominic followers at the Twitter also increased, and they would become a little popular. They pretend to be exes, and they sound found that the chemistry they have been faking was real. At first, they are do their co-hosts at the excel very well. They also get many sponsors. At the moment when their show do some call from the listener, there are one people. His name is John, who are give Say and Dominic question like, is it true that Say and Dominic are the exes that have a relationship before? Due to that question makes Say tense and restless. Also Dominic, but Dominic can answer that question like, they both co-host the show didn't convince John if he already made up mind about them. Dominic said that he didn't go to journalism school to tell lies on the radio. And just like that, Dominic ends the call. From that accident, their boss Darius can feel worried about the show in the future. So to make the relationship to be more close and looks real and natural, can give Say and Dominic time to spend time on weekend together on Orcas Islands. The radio station will give them the company car for the funds. From that time, Say and Dominic become more close and they become more open about their feelings. At the time when they are spending time together in the night, there are some accidents that make Say and Dominic kissing. Because of this, their relationship at work become more close, and actually they are dating. Say and Dominic also become popular, and their followers on social media are increased significantly. Because of that, they are invited to some show that is podcast. They all will be doing their first live show. At first, they were nervous to do their first live show, but a week before their live show, they had to spend their weekend together, and also they are planning to announce their relationship at the end of the show. At the time their first live show began, the beginning of the show are running smoothly until the time to do a Q&A time. There's one girl who asks to Say and Dominic. She asks that, is it funny to trick your listener? You two were never actually dating. You both just doing your show as a gimmick. Because of that question, the audience on that show become chaos. And then also there's another question from a guy. He's asked to Say and Dominic, I'm curious, was it for money or is it just some kind of method of social experiment? Then because of that, the audience become more chaos. Trying to answer with all of those questions with telling the truth that before they start working on their show, they had not actually dating. Say suddenly looked to Dominic. His face is ashen. He's unable to make an eye contact. Say needs his help, but Dominic didn't even look at her. And then Say started to talk again to audience. Say tells that at the beginning they were just two workers at the public station who didn't really like each other, and it seems like it will get a great premise for a show. To access giving out relationship advice, and then they saw was an opportunity to do something different on public station radio, and to help save their station. When the show was began, they all realized they are like each other. It was a difficult situation, but after a couple months, they were officially together now. But the audience kept silence after Say answered that question. There is some applause or something like that, until there is someone who asks that question to Dominic. Is it true, Dominic? At this point, Dominic still hasn't said anything. Say wanted to fix this for them, but she can't do it alone. Say thinks that the story doesn't work if she is the only one who telling it to the audience. They start to calling Dominic, but Dominic just can't tell the truth clearly to help them. Then at the end, he just can say sorry to the audience, then he leaves. Due to of their first live show, they are unable to work again at the public station. But it's different for Dominic, because he was their favorite boss and he is still work at the public station radio. Long story short, she now has their time with her friend, that is Ruthie. They are both at the cafe. Suddenly, when Sai was busy with her laptop, Ruthie said to Sai to turn on the Pacific Public Radio. Then they are both listening to Dominic's voice. Dominic was telling a story how he can meet with Sai and how he was there with the smart and the most interesting girl ever he met, that is Sai. Also, he was apologized to Sai when their first live show. He can even help her to telling the truth. Because of that, Sai was going to the public station radio. Sai was forgave Dominic and then they expressed their feelings by saying I love you each other. And they are kissing. And then they become a couple again. So the story was end. I think enough for me. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.